So in the shower this morning, because that's what us moms do in the shower is think, right? Because we barely have any other time to just think because our lives are so busy. And anyways, I was thinking in the shower this morning, the number one thing that upsets me, particularly about being a special needs mom, is the lack of compassion and understanding, or at least trying to understand. I feel like there's so much comparison between kids just in general, neurotypical kids to special needs kids, and special needs kids to another special need kid, autistic kid to autistic kid. There's always a comparison, and there's always cultural differences, and what I do in my family is going to be different than what another family raising an autistic kid does. And same, but with any child, we all raise our kids and have different parenting styles and different parenting ways. But I want to come across saying this in the right way, but I feel like I'm just gonna start rambling about it. Maybe that's just how I need to get it off my chest. But okay, there are cultural differences, and there are a lot of families that in different cultures around the world, and even here in the States, that raise their kids as, we are the parents, you are the child, it doesn't matter what you think, this is how we do things, and if you're uncomfortable, then you just have to go with the flow. And if you express your uncomfortability, then you can go take a timeout, or worse, you're going to get a spanking. Like, basically, you're not allowed to have feelings as a child, and if it makes you uncomfortable, that's not my problem. And that is traumatizing to any child, especially those who are vastly different from the mass. I know I say that a lot, the mass, but I feel like the mass thinks in a certain way. We all have our social, the way we know how to do things socially, and the way we know how to do things, how to talk, how to approach people. And then you have autistic kids that have no idea about any of it. And you take someone who is not, okay, what's the definition of autism when you look it up on the web? Social deficits is one of them, right? So you take someone with social deficits and you put them in this situation where they're totally uncomfortable, and then you expect them to act a certain way and be a certain way that's socially acceptable. That's uncomfortable, okay? It's uncomfortable for them, and it's your job as their parent, and this is just how I think, it's your job as their parent to give them comfortability in those situations, and it's your job as their parent to protect them. And if something is too much for them, then it's your job as their parent to see that and to make changes accordingly. And what upsets me is when people look at that and say, oh, she's being this type of way or that type of way, or they take it personally. No, it's not that at all. I'm just looking out for my child, and I'm sorry if me looking out for my child and doing what's best for my family makes you feel a certain way, but I'm always going to do that, and I'm always going to look out for my kids and what is best for them. Ezra has chicken nuggets 6 out of 7 nights for dinner. Is that because I'm a bad parent? I don't think so. He has gone through food therapy. It was traumatizing. He does eat certain different foods. He he tries in so many ways, and it's not like I don't try to have him try new things every now and then, and we're working on it. But if you come to my house and see that, then I want you to accept that I'm doing what's best for my child, and I want you to look at him and say, okay, this is what he needs. Other than this, that's not how I would do it. What's wrong with her? Maybe that's not how you would do it. And that's okay. You're not raising my child. But this is how we do things, and this is how he's comfortable, and this is his habit. And if he wants to have chicken nuggets, as long as he's getting his nutritional needs and I make sure of that, then it's not a big deal. And it's something we are working on slowly but surely. The last thing I want as a mom raising special needs children is judgment. That's the worst thing. And I hate feeling like people are talking behind my back. And I try not to worry about it because I know it happens. But I don't like feeling like every little thing I do is judged. And it's hard, and it's so common. My friend lets her child watch screens like whenever she wants them. All right, that's you. That's your child. If that's how your child is comfortable, and this is how you learned how to help her process and deal and center, then good for you. I'm glad that this is what works for you. And that's it. That's all we should do as parents, period, is accept and love and be compassionate. Because anything other than that is just, it's not healthy. It's not good. And unless someone asks you for your opinion, you don't need to give it to them. I also want to touch on anxiety. We all have a level of anxiety, but some people's anxiety is detrimental. It's debilitating, and it's a mental health disorder. And I feel like that's also something we need to take into account as parents, is our child's level of anxiety and how to help them through it. I don't believe in always hiding anxiety or not working through it or pushing through it, but there's a balance. And have you guys heard of like the spoons? Like you start out your day with so many spoons. Say you start out with 10 spoons, and then certain activities take a certain level of spoons. And if you are at 2 spoons by 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you have nothing left to give, then I need to notice that as a parent of someone with high anxiety, and know that you need to go in your room and be by yourself, or you need to not have people over right now, or you need, I don't know, you need to watch screens right now. And this is how you're going to calm and center, and that is okay. I just feel like I feel so much, there's so much in our world of, I guess, high expectations for these kids, right? And maybe I'm just a softie, I don't know, but I feel like you take especially autistic kids, right, who have social deficits, problems communicating, a lot of times high anxiety, and you put them in school all day long, and all day long they have teacher, therapist, or multiple teachers and therapists having the certain level of expectations for them, and they're hounding on them about they need to do work, they need to sit still, they need to do this, you can't talk, you can't stim, you can't do that. Like, it's all this so much focus they have to have all day long, and then they come home and the parents are like this, you need to come in, you need to put your lunchbox in the sink, you need to read, now you need to, obviously they're going to have behaviors, obviously they're going to try to speak up for themselves and say, I'm uncomfortable, this isn't okay. And then you have them sit down at the dinner table and you say, oh, here, we're having this casserole or something that they're totally uncomfortable with, and they throw a fit, and then you say, oh, my child is so bad. And these kids just need compassion and understanding from everyone involved in their lives. And as parents, we need that as well. We just need the support that we need encouragement that we are doing the best that we can, and we are trying. And it's a difficult journey raising someone that is different, that there's no books on parenting, and there's no books on how to raise kids. And raising a special needs child, all we have is really other special needs parents to vent to look to for advice. We can ask the professionals, but it's almost overwhelming asking them sometimes too, because each professional has a different way of doing something. And I remember when I first got Ezra into therapy, his OT had something she wanted me to do with him. His speech therapist had something she wanted me to do with him. His ABA therapist had his whole behavior plan, and it just got like, oh my gosh, overwhelming, because I felt like his whole life then was therapy, and I couldn't say or do certain things with him because this was not his plan, and that's not good either. So I know this is going on and on, but the main thing I want out of this video is just for people to know that kids need compassion, love, and understanding. All kids. And parents need compassion, love, support, understanding. And if we can come together and just do that, I think this world would function a lot better.